There's a guy named Jake, 28 years old, works in tech, lives in a suburb outside Denver. On a Thursday evening, he's tired after a long day. He opens UberEats, scrolls through restaurants, finds a burger place. The burger is marked at $10. He orders it. By the time he hits confirm, the total is $23. He doesn't think much about it. The food arrives 30 minutes later, still warm, no effort required. Then there's Alex. Same age, same city, same burger craving, but Alex does something different. He walks to the restaurant, takes 15 minutes, sits down, orders the same burger, same size, same everything, pays $12, walks home. Both of these people solved the exact same problem. Both of them got dinner, but one of them paid almost double. And here's what's wild. Alex actually had more free time than Jake. He just didn't realize it yet. By the end of this video, you'll see why convenience is no longer a luxury. It's become a trap. If you're someone who orders delivery more than once a week, if you're watching your bank account slowly drain and can't figure out why, this will hit different. Subscribe and like this video. What you learn here might be worth more than you think. The real enemy here isn't the app. It's not DoorDash or Uber Eats being evil. The real enemy is how your brain processes small numbers. This is behavioral economics at work, and these apps are masters of it. Here's what they know about you. One $5 fee feels small. One $3 fee feels small. $2.99 for a convenience charge feels invisible. But stack them all together, and they're crushing your budget. The genius part is that you don't see them stacked until the final screen. By then, you've already committed emotionally. You're hungry. You've been waiting. You hit confirm. Think of it like climbing a mountain in fog. You know you're going up, but you can't see how high you've actually climbed until you're exhausted. The fees work the same way. Each one feels like a small step, but together they're taking you somewhere you didn't plan to go. Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't your fault. The system is engineered this way. Psychologists are involved. Data scientists are involved. These companies have billions of dollars and they're using all of it to make spending feel lighter than it actually is. You're not weak for ordering delivery. You're human. You're just playing a game that's rigged. Let me show you the real numbers. The average American spends just over $1,500 every single year on food delivery. That's $130 a month. $30 a week. For some of you, it's way more. But let's work with that baseline for a second. Now here's the invisible part. On average, every food delivery order includes about $13 in hidden fees. Service fees, delivery charges, small order penalties, tips. That $13 isn't in the base price. It's waiting for you at checkout. So $1,500 a year on orders, plus $650 a year in pure fees. That's $2,150 annually just to eat food that's already sitting in restaurants for free. Meet Sarah, 32 years old, works in marketing, makes decent money. She orders from Uber Eats about 4 times a week. She thinks each order costs $35. That feels manageable. That feels like she's being reasonable. But let's look at reality. The meal is $15. Service fee, $2. Delivery fee, $3.50. Small order fee, $2. Tip at checkout, because the app makes tipping the default, $4. The actual total is $26.50. But Sarah rounds down in her head. 35 feels right. 4 times a week times $26.50 is $106 per week. That's $4,408 per year. On delivery, just food, that's a used car, that's 3 months of rent. That's the difference between being broke and having a real emergency fund. Now let's talk about the fee stack itself. Service fees range from 10 to 15%. Delivery fees, $2 to $5. Small order penalties, another $2 to $4 if you're not spending enough. And tips have become socially engineered into the 18 to 20% range. When you add all of that together, you're looking at a 40 to 60% markup on whatever you order. A $10 meal becomes $16 to $16. A $20 meal becomes $32 to $38. But here's where it gets darker. Restaurants are paying the apps 30% commission per order. They're losing money, so they raise prices inside the app. That $15 burger in the restaurant costs $17.50 on Uber Eats. Now you're paying markup on top of markup. You think you're paying for food. You're actually paying for a system that's extracting money at every layer. And then the platforms introduce Klarna. Buy now, pay later.
Oh,
Split your order into 4 interest-free payments. It sounds perfect. It sounds like they're helping you. But here's the trap. 41% of Klarna users paid late in the past year. Late fees are $7 each. Total fees can reach up to 25% of your order. You're now financing French fries. You're going into debt to avoid waiting. Here's what you need to understand. You're not buying food. You're paying for a system. And that system is designed to feel painless while extracting as much money as possible. Think about what's changed. You used to cook. You used to plan meals. You used to know what was in your kitchen. Now you tap. Every single tap is a small surrender. You're outsourcing your hunger to an algorithm, and every time you do, someone profits. Not the driver, not the restaurant, the platform, the algorithm, the system. The apps promised you freedom. Freedom from cooking. Freedom from planning. Freedom from effort. And they delivered that. But they delivered something else too. They delivered financial dependence. They turned your exhaustion into their revenue model. The app knows you'll pay. It's betting on it. It's betting that when you're tired after work, when you've had a long day, when the last thing you want to do is figure out dinner, you'll tap. It knows the math doesn't work. It's counting on you not doing it. And it's counting on you right now, not changing anything. But here's what actually changes things. First, track 1 month. Not forever. Not some complicated spreadsheet. Just 1 month of every delivery order. Write it down. Sarah did this. She thought she was spending $400 a month. When she added it up, the real number was $480. That one number broke something inside her. It made it real. You can't unsee a number like that. The second framework is this. Set a convenience budget. Not zero. I'm not telling you to never order delivery again. But maybe you allocate $100 a month to it. When it's gone, it's gone. What this does is reintroduce friction. Friction isn't bad. Friction is what keeps you honest. Friction is what forces you to actually choose instead of just tap. The third framework is the most important. Reframe the math. You're not asking, is this meal worth $15? You're asking, is convenience worth an extra $13 today? Most days, when you ask it that way, the answer is no. Most days, a 15-minute walk or a quick home-cooked meal feels like a better trade. I've tracked my own delivery spending. For 3 months, I was spending $180 a month on apps without even thinking about it. When I saw the number, when I actually added it all up, everything changed. I didn't quit. I just became aware. And awareness is where power starts. Jake started tracking. 1 month in, he cut his orders from 4 a week to 1. Sarah set a budget. She's now hitting it most months. Both of them still order delivery. But they order intentionally instead of habitually, and that shift changes everything. Back to that opening image, Jake's $23 meal, Alex's $12 meal, same burger, different outcomes. Now you know where the gap comes from. It's not quality, it's not the burger, it's the system sitting between you and your hunger. Convenience wasn't supposed to cost you freedom, but somewhere along the way, that's exactly what happened. The thing that promised to save time started stealing money. The thing that promised to make life easier made it more fragile. Here's what I want you to know. You don't have to quit. You don't have to become someone who never orders delivery. You just have to choose. And choosing is the first step back. Choosing is how you take your power back from the algorithm. The most expensive meal you can buy isn't the one that costs the most money. It's the one that costs you the future. Every time you don't track, every time you don't notice, every time you let the system make the decision for you. So comment below. How much do you really think you're spending on delivery? Just a guess? What's the number in your head? Because I'm willing to bet it's half of what you'd find if you actually tracked it. Let that sit with you, and then do something about it.